All right, so at the top of the page, on the ribbon, there is a tab called Grades. Notice it is the second tab. This is the one that we do to get to the gradebook. Let's click on Gradebook and just see where it is. We're looking at the gradebook. Now there are some things that have to be done before a teacher jumps in to do grades. And they need to be done at the beginning of the year. And this is the thing I want you to tell your people. Set it up at the beginning of the year and then leave it alone for the first year. Because if you change halfway through on some of these things, it can affect the grade. So think about, this is one of those afternoon tasks, setting up their grade book. We want them to do it slowly, carefully with your assistance. This is one that they ought to do. They can set up how it looks, okay? So I want you to notice this says 6/28 and this says 6/30, but that says 6/16. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Because the due date is, it seems off a little bit. And it has to do with, I think I have it selected to line them up by the newest one first. So I actually put a due date on this one, but I did this one on Monday. But I created this one on Tuesday, and it has a different due date. So I just want you to see that it can get off. It can get a little wonky sometimes, because the setting I have is I want to see the newest assignment first. Our current gradebook always lists the newest assignment last. Teachers now have the option to decide how it looks. They also have the option of setting up their gradebook one time and having it affect all their classes. So they don't have to go in and try to remember the settings for each one. They can set them up all the same. That's one of those things that we have to do here at the beginning. There are two places that they're going to be making these settings. I would write this down. Just giving you a heads up. I would write this down. There are two places that they will need to adjust settings at the beginning of the year. The first place is under My Information, and we will do that. And the second place is under Settings. Those are the two places where teachers will need to adjust their gradebook at the beginning of the year. We want them to set it and forget it. So if I go over here and I click Attendance, do I even have, like if I go to Seating Charts, do I even have a Settings button? No, I don't. It's only when you're in the Grades tab, Gradebook, here I am, I can do My Information and I can do Settings. Those are the things that we need to do at the beginning of the year. Those are the things I would hope that you will make sure your teachers have accomplished by the end of August the 8th. Okay, so I'm just kind of talking general about settings right now. So let's go to My Information first. And we're going to come down to Preferences. Jot that down. Preferences, Preferences. This is kind of a weird looking little page, but it's got two important things on it. You can decide, like when you do highlights, what color you want them to be. That's not important. It's just a thing. You can decide to use a sidebar menu. I tried this the first time, and I got so discombobulated I couldn't figure out where anything was. So you might want to demo this. I don't know. Let me show you. So if I do sidebar menu, I click it, I come over here and I hit save. Look at how my screen just changed. Totally different. Now suddenly I'm using icons on the left-hand side. A lot of the focus people use that. I find it annoying because then I have to look at it and try to figure out what it means. But it is a choice that your teachers have. If they don't want to see that long ribbon across the top, then they would see this on the side and see the little red bar. The little red bar tells you which tab you're in. So I'm going to uncheck it because I get lost when I use that one. And I'm going to save. You can decide how the date format looks in case you're one of those English people, woohoo, or European people who put the date first. No, not the date first. What do you do? The day first, month, then year, right? So you can set that up however it pleases you. And then down here, configure gradebook separately for each section. I don't know why anybody would do that. Notice that it's not checked to start with because most people, if I want my latest assignment first, I want it that way with all my classes. I don't want one to be one way and the others to be another. But if they do, okay, they can click that box and do that. On the other hand, if you want to set it up one way the same for all your classes, then you would leave it unchecked. Sound good? Now notice this box down here, combine sections for gradebook. This is the one everybody asks about. So if you've got that 6th grade and 7th grade in that math class and you need that all put together on one gradebook page, one attendance page, this is where you combine them. This is it. This is the big spot. You have 2 ways you can combine them. Click that box for me. Combine sections for gradebook. It's going to give you a choice by period or by custom groups. Custom groups is one of those topics for way later in the year. Do not burden yourself with custom groups at the moment. That is something that you may think is cool later or not, but we don't want to talk about that. That's just too complicated at the beginning of the year. But if you do have more than one section happening during the same period, you click by period. And if you don't, if everything is all good, don't click the box. Just leave it like that. All right, does everybody know what to do with this? That is my preferences under my information. Now that I've got it exactly like I want, notice at the top I have student listing. So student listing, this is how do I want to see my students listed? You can actually customize this. That's a really good thing to have. Columns in student lists, you can select columns, email notifications, and would you see up here at the top, class section names? I knew I saw something. So I got Baker School, I got, this is my course title. It's not blue. There's nothing on, it's not underlined. I can't open anything, I can't click on it and change it. So this is where it tells me I can't do anything about it. All right, so we have looked at our display options. We've made our adjustments. We clicked save. We're done setting up anything in my information in preferences. That one is off the list. Now let's look at the other one, the one called settings. So go to grades, go to gradebook, and now come all the way over to settings. In settings, you see this little pop-up that came in? You've got, the tabs are at the bottom. Who does that? I don't know, but they're at the bottom. You've got viewing options, so the way it looks, the configuration, the way it works, groups and grade colors. Groups and grade colors again. We are not dealing with groups and grade colors. Put that one away, say don't worry about that for now. Fiddle-dee-dee, we'll worry about that tomorrow. Viewing options and configuration your teachers need to set up the first day of school, or first day of our training. So our viewing options, I'm going to tell you what they do, and then you can tell them what they need to do. Grading legend, we recommend you have this clicked, and all it does is whenever you're in Gradebook, watch my mouse, and I hover over the words grade legend, it shows me what the legend is. And if you're a kindergarten teacher, it shows you what the kindergarten teacher legend is. That one is totally different. It's L1234. Weird, huh? But that's what they got. They understand it. They know what to do with it. It's all good. All right, so that's what that box is. It just puts it on the page so you can look at it. Do you need to include inactive students? I don't know. That might be one of those buttons that you go in and set it and forget it. If you want to see the kids who've been removed from your school, or from your class, you need to check that box. And your gradebook will always show your active and your inactive students. Down here, the grading cells. This is very important. In the cell, this is a cell. See this little area down here? Right here. I'm in an assignment and I have a number and I have a letter but I don't have a percentage symbol, I've selected points and letter. If I want to see percentage, I click percentage and I click apply. Now my cell is going to show the points, the percentage, and the letter. Okay? And I can choose right here, when I'm on one assignment, I can enter my points by, I can enter the grade by points, by letter, by percentage. But preferences, this setting that we're doing, is deciding what we see. So even if I needed to change this grade, and I want to enter as 76 points, see it says points, I could have changed that and said I want to enter this grade by percent. So when I put a number in, I'm actually entering a percent. See how I did that? I hit enter. It saves automatically. This is changes by whatever you're doing. The settings is the preference of what shows up in that cell. Points, percentage, letter. I think this is too much information for me. I feel boggled. So I do percentage. I don't even have to do letter. I can just take that out entirely and apply. Now you only see that grade. We do have Z's, and a Z means the same. It's a 0 because they didn't turn anything in. We do have X's, and the X is excused or excluded. I kind of like that word better, exclude. That is not going into the student's average. You can click on any grade and you can change that grade, like you watched me do several times. Hit enter and it saves. You can add a comment. Here's a comment. I added a comment here, and the student redid the assignment, raised the grade from 12 to 74. Wow. I should definitely get my stuff accurate. I like it when I put a note in there. So how do I add a note? Double click in the cell, and this button comes up, and it allows you to add a comment. You can do bold and all that kind of stuff in here. You could link to the document, actually. You actually could put in their assignment in here if you had a link for it. And you can choose to highlight this. I'm going to highlight that 87 and close. So, can the parent see the notes you write here? Notice over here there is another note section. So this is a note that goes with the student's name. I can put a note in there. Notice right here it says visible to student and parents. If I click that box, this note will be visible in the parent portal. And I can say, what would I say on a note like that?
Is this kind of similar to like on the report card when you can add those codes that lets parents know that, like, you know, they're off task or talkative in class, you know what I'm saying?
The conduct.
Yeah, like the conduct.
This is not conduct.
Okay.
This is a note section, and I don't have guidance from anyone as to how you should or should not use this. All I know is that if you choose to write in that section next to the student's name, that you can make that visible to parents and students. Or you can choose not to make it visible to parents and students. The one that's next to their grade, this is just kind of in the back of my brain. I have that, yes, they can see this on the parent portal, but I don't know where to find that information to guarantee it for you. So if you've jotted in, you know, Billy turned his work in 2 days late and got a, 20-point reduction, the parent should be able to see that because it's attached to the grade. And that kind of makes sense. Okay, so we have looked at that little piece. Let's go back to settings. You see my cell now only has, how I chose to enter the grade, which was actually, I'm entering it by percent at the moment. I can do points is my what I want to see. And I can see percentage too, because for some reason I'm just going to do both. Look at the optional columns. Right, these are the optional columns in the middle next to the student's name. Do I want to see their grade level? Sometimes you do. Do I want to see their semester average or their full year average or their student number? This is where you would check that. And this is also where that gradebook group thing comes in that I told you just worry about that some other day. We're just going to worry about that some other day because you can actually group your students within the gradebook in additional ways, and we're just going to say later on that one. Also, assignment column headings. How do you want your assignments to look? I added an icon. Now that I added it, I think it's a little distracting. It kind of bugs me. So I'm going to take the icon out. I want to see how many points or questions this assignment is worth. Nah, I don't really want to see that. I just want to see the due date. I'm just randomly picking here, and I'm going to apply. Now when I look at my gradebook, see how clean that is? I've got the title and I've got the due date. If I want to change something, do you see the letter I in the title, in the header? Right here, this gives me a chance to get more information about that assignment. The I is for information. So if I hover over that I get more information. And if I click on it, which I'm going to do here, I can choose to edit the assignment. I'm going back to all. So look at the 4 tabs: all, totals, category, assignment, and plus. And way on the right-hand side, reports, that's important, and settings. All those things relate to Gradebook. When I click all, I see all my students in this class up here in the top. Remember, I've selected my class. I see their names. I see my little notepad that I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. I see the name of the student. So when I click on that picture thing, notice again, I can check their schedule, check their grades, add a referral. All of that I can check from right within the Gradebook. And then let me look at totals for a second. Now that I'm in totals, notice I have 3 colors at the top. I have 3 categories set up, and I'm pretending I'm a secondary teacher at the moment. So mine are pink, light pink, and blue because I'm secondary. If I was in elementary, it would already be set for you. You would have green and you would have yellow. And that's it. Your categories are set. But since I'm secondary, pretending to be, I have 50% hot pink, 25% light pink, and 25% blue. So I can see my hot pink categories. I haven't done any assignments at all in the test category. I better get on the ball. In my classwork, homework, if they average all my classwork homework together, this is the grade for that category. Remember, all shows everything, all assignments. Totals shows me averages by category. Now if I go into category, look at how it changes. Do you see the little window that opened up on the left? Okay, so now, let me see if I can, that doesn't scroll over, does it? No, it doesn't. It shows me that I have 3 categories, and this is what secondary needs. If I click on category, this is how I set up my categories. Currently, I have a test category that's 50%, a classwork homework category that's 25%, and a quiz category that's 25%. You see that? I have it all in here. Maybe I want to edit this. Maybe the idea of having my quiz category be 25% is not a good idea. I want to be more in line with what everybody else is doing. I click the edit button. And this is where you set up categories. I say, I want my quizzes to be blue. I'm going to still go with that. But I'm going to change my quiz and watch what happens when I do this. I want my quizzes to be 40%, no, 50%. And This one, the one that says automatically drop the lowest blank grade. You can do that. And you can say, I only want to drop the lowest one. I want to drop none of them. I'll put a 0 there. Or I could say I'm going to drop 2. Man, if you're dropping 2, I hope you're getting a lot of grades. But you have that option. You're the one in charge of that. And you follow whatever guidance you get on that. This is where you make that happen. This is it. So I need you to look at this word, linked sections, linked marking periods. Watch out for the word linked. Link means like a 3-legged race. What one section does, the other section has to do. So if you have, let's just say you teach 3 English classes, 3 English 1s, whatever, and you set up an assignment for one of them. If you link your sections together and you go in and change the due date for one of those sections, it automatically changes it for the other 2. You're going to have to go in and undo and change that stuff individually because it automatically affects it. They're linked. That's a good thing sometimes. The other option is copying sections. So if you make an assignment and you want to copy it to another section, you can select which section you want and it copies that assignment. Those are not linked. So if you change the due date on one, it won't affect the other section. So copy and link. Tell your people about the difference in those. And remember we went in and our whole purpose in here was to adjust my category percentage. When I click on this and I say save, it's going to go, oh, you have more than 100%. And there it is. Category weights don't add up to 100%. In other words, Miss Bears, can you add? Can you even add? I have issues, don't I? So now it shows me that quizzes are 50%, tests are 50%, and classwork homework is 25%. So, I need to lower one of these. I'm going to edit my test. I click on test, and now I'm going to edit it. And instead of being 50%, I'm going to change this one now to 25. I'm not telling you what your percentages should be. I'm just showing you how to change stuff if you need to. Okay? So we have looked at the categories. What if you need to add a category? You have a project and you want projects to count for something. Then you would choose new category. And I'm going to set it up. I'm going to say a project. Project is going to be worth 10% of our student grade because they're done at home and I don't really know if parents are doing it or not. I don't have any links. It's just linked to first period and we're not dropping any, so I'm going to hit save. I didn't choose a color. Why didn't I choose a color? Edit, color, click the button. I want it to be green, save. Now I have that category. My percentages are still off, right? Quizzes are going to be dropped to 40%, so I can make everything equal 100. And I've just like bored you to tears doing all this detail and minutia. You can see why they're going to need assistance if they're secondary and they're setting up categories.
Because if they're elementary, they don't.
It's already done.
Will be preset.
It's preset. You can't change it. You can't do diddly. Can't change the color. I think the only thing you can change is if you're dropping a grade. Look right here on the left. I'm in category. You click on category even if you're elementary. Look at the bottom. It will show you your categories. You will not have a new category button. Now go to assignment. Everybody go to assignment. I see my categories over here on assignment. I see them, but I can't edit them. You don't have yellow or green?
If they're in homeroom and you teach other sections.
Oh, that's it. So get out of homeroom, get into a class. What a relief. I was like, what's wrong with our profiles? Click the plus sign to add an assignment. And now I'm going to give it a title. Remember that project thing I was working on? So I'm going to call this the Me Project. There it is. and I want to give it some points, 100. I want the grade to be 100. The category is not quiz. I'm going to make it a project. Here's my due date. Now the due date will come in like either today or tomorrow, depending on what we do in settings, and we haven't done that yet. And I'm going to choose my marking period. This is the copy, and this is the link. You see that? It's on this page. Look at it. Copy is over here. There's a little button. If I want to copy it in other sections, all those English sections, I would choose my sections down here, but I don't have any sections. But you would. Or I could link it to sections. Where's my little button? If I want to link it to all of them, I can choose which one I want to link it to, what sections. If this is one of those grades where it's 100 points and everybody gets 100 points on this thing, there is an autofill button. That's how you do it, right there. I can put in the number of questions, but I don't have to. Once I've got the basic information in here, all I have to do is hit save. Yes, I can add rubrics. We're not doing that today. Yes, I can add resources like a handout page, but we're not doing that today. And then there are this thing called options, and I'm not doing that today either. We're just doing details with your people. I hit save, and that assignment is now created. Remember I said it was a project? I'm going to go back so I can see the whole gradebook. There's my new project. It's the Me project. It's green because it's a project. And I've got NG, which means I have not graded it. It is not graded yet. So when your parent looks in the portal and they see an NG, it is not graded yet. So let's go to settings, back to settings, and let's look. We dealt with optional columns, we dealt with general, we dealt with the grading cells and the assignment column headings. Remember we did all this? Now come down to configuration, and these are some other choices your teachers need to make. Do you want all assignments to default to 100 points? That's totally up to you. If you need to change, maybe your assignments are only worth 10 points and you want every assignment to be 10 points. That's up to you. I'm going to leave mine at 100. Do I want the assignment to show up today in the gradebook or tomorrow? That, honestly, guys, it is not important. It's not important. Think about it. What does our gradebook pause do now? It does it right away. Does it bug you? If it doesn't bug you, you can leave it on today. If it's going to make you happy to turn it to tomorrow, click tomorrow, because neither one is going to matter. It's not the due date. It's just when does that assignment show up in the gradebook for parents, students. That's all it's about. Okay, so you pick whatever you like. Down here, new assignment method. This is where you're going to choose, do I want every single assignment to be linked to some other assignment? Click linked. Some people want that. Do I want to copy every assignment into the other similar classes? If you want it to create a copy automatically, click that button. It'll save you time. You can still go in and edit them if something happens. Or do I just want to pick every time I make an assignment, do I want to select each time? I'm happy with that button. That one makes me happy, so I have that one clicked. It sounds very similar.
Yeah.
So I'm making an assignment for that project, the Me project. Remember, I teach 3 English classes. So I could copy. I like it. Copying is good. If every time I make an assignment in one, I want it copied in the other 3. But maybe I have one class where, and it always seems like something happens to this class and we get shortchanged. I don't get enough time. I've got to put off something till the next day. I don't know, there's just something about that class. Maybe it's the first period of the day and I just don't teach as well the first period of the day as I do the others, and stuff gets pushed back. If they're copied, I can go in and I can change the due date. I can, adjust stuff without affecting the other periods.
So the link would
The
be
link-
the same assignment.
everything is in lockstep. You change something in one, it changes in all. Awesome. Okay, so we've dealt with new assignment method and assignment sorting. Here's your big choice. Do you want the newest assignment first, or do you want it last like we have in pause? So, hold that thought. Do I want it to go in by due date? Remember, mine was not by due date. Do you remember how it was all out of order? I can say, nope, I want it by due date. That's it. That makes me happy. So I don't know, if I do it by due date, it might go this way or it might go this way. I need to find out, so I'm going to hit apply. And look what it did. It made my newest one first in order of due date. That's cool. I like that one. That one makes me happy. That's the best one yet. Or do I want it to be alphabetical? I don't want that. That's weird. Publish date. What about category? Category looks like this. There, I put all my categories together. All my greens will go together. All my hot pinks will go together, regardless of the due date. Whatever makes you happy, you get to click. Whatever makes your teachers happy, you get to click. Going back to settings, I like that due date thing. I'm going with that. Notice down here, this one is super important. This bottom part, automatically save all changes to student grades. If your teacher doesn't have that clicked, those grades are not going to save if she closes a button. You know, does the red X? They're not going to save. I suggest every teacher click that button, save automatically. The next one, weight assignment grades by category. I suggest you click that one too. If you have categories, whether you set them or the district sets them, I suggest you click that one. This one, add assignments to all sections of your course by default. That's going to add an assignment into all sections. So if you're teaching 2 sections of ELA and 2 sections of social studies, and you put in the Me project in ELA, I think it might give it to you in all of them. So I wouldn't check that one. Secondary might want to. Does that sound okay? Okay, so I have run out of things to do in this one. I'm going to apply it. We've done our settings. I need to point out a couple of things. Those kindergarten people. Your kindergarten people, see this thing right here where it says enter grades by blank. I need you to look at this. You see that? Kindergarten people can only enter grades by letter grade. Write that down. Kindergarten teachers can only enter grades by letter grade. And I'm going to show you on the board because I don't have a kindergarten class to show you anywhere else. Kindergarten has this scale, L, 1, 2, 3, 4. And an L equals what grade? It equals an L. Kindergarten understands this. Other people don't really get that. And a 1 equals a 1, and a 2 equals a 2, and a 3 equals a 3, and a 4 equals a 4. These are letter grades, and these are their grades. That messes with my brain. Kindergarten teachers understand. If they're going to enter a grade for a kid, and they say, I want, it's a grade, I'm going to put in a 3, then they put in a 3, then their letter grade is a 3. That's what they get. But if this is changed, if they don't enter by letter grade and they put in a 2, it will automatically convert it to a 4. And that's when you go, oh my gosh, this is totally wrong. You don't have to understand their grade book. The only thing you have to tell them is they have to enter grades by letter to make it be accurate. Weird, I know. I would write that down and give them that tap and say, let's read this together. You know. Okay, so letter grade. On every assignment, every single assignment, they have to choose letter grade. And it's not set up so we can make it happen for them. Believe me, we tried. We contacted Focus and we said, hey, fix this. And they said, well, it kind of defaults to letter grade, But those kindergarten teachers, when they're on this page, they could go in and think, oh, I need to put in points, thinking 4 points. If they do that, everything's going to be a 4. Everything. Just tell them, don't mess with that. Okay, I'm scaring myself now. All right, we've done all about settings. We've done all the preferences in my information. We looked at how to build an assignment right here. We looked at, you can do a new assignment when you're in the category. Like I could go to test and I could start a new assignment, or I can do an assignment by clicking the plus sign. 2 ways to start an assignment, by the word assignment or by the plus sign. And I can come in and edit stuff if I want to. Maybe I'm looking at me project and I'm like, that's a bad due date, I need to change it. I'll just double click. Is anything happening when I double click? No. Come and click my I, click to edit. Now I can come in and change my due date. I want to change my due date to 7:03. I could set a time. Isn't that weird? I could set a time. And I hit save, and it's saved. And there it is. There is this concept down here called posting, and that's where a student posts, types a message in, and they might even post a message to other students about their work. We are not dealing with that. Thank you, right? Yes, later, Gator. Okay, so we have now done assignments. We've set up our grade book. We can filter stuff, and that's what the pluses and minuses are. I took the filter off, and did you notice that went away? And then right here, I can export or print. And I know you were looking for that, weren't you? Yay. So we can do that too. Way over on the right, there is this button that's called Reports. Let's see what that does. This gives us gradebook reports. We can see missing grades. There are 5 reports I want you to be able to share with your people. Missing grades is one of them. All these students are missing a grade because they haven't done the Me project. So I could come in here and I could say, well, Carolyn got a 75, and I hit enter, and notice it moved up. Did you see it? You didn't see it, did you? Let me do it again. I'm going to do Joshua. Well, Joshua has a missing grade. I'm going to put in a 55. When I hit enter, Joshua's going to go away because it's no longer missing. There it is, it's gone. I could have one kid that's missing 3 things and his name would be on here 3 times. All right, so I can put a comment in. Addison, had a power outage. So I extended, oops, can't spell. I extended due date 3 days, whatever. And I can sit OK. And now Addison has a comment, and that's why there's a missing grade, and I'll get around to fixing that before I have to submit my grades to the end of the quarter, whatever. So I can click in here and just do all that. Or, guess what? There's a faster way. Let's save. I want to go to this Me project. We've already done this Me project, and I want to give everybody else a 100. So here's my Me project. I'm going to click the I, and right in here it says autofill. So I'm going to put in 100 points because we all did it in class. It was great. I loved it. I'm going to save. Watch what happens for my missing grade report. So I'm going back to reports. Now I barely have any missing grades. And Addison is the only one whose grade didn't show up because I added a comment. She gets 3 extra days to do it. I want her to do it. And I know she's going to get 100 when she's done because she's fabulous. Okay, so that was the missing grade report. All right, so now we can look at excused grades, extra credit grades. How do you do an extra credit assignment? Let's just go back and look at that because you might need to know that. I'm going to go back to all. I'm going to actually hit the plus sign, and I'm going to create an extra credit grade. And this is my digital citizenship grade. I want to give them an assignment at the beginning of the year to know how to be safe and how to be kind on the internet. So I'm going to have 2 questions in here, a couple of things that I want them to do. I've got everything done. And this is completion only. I just want to mark that they did it. Now that I have everything in, there's my due date, blah, blah, blah. I don't see anything else. Here's the description. All right. Go to the site, watch the video, answer the questions. So, can't spell. One more. So, there we go. Now that I've got it, I hit save. When I go back to my gradebook, here is my digital citizenship, and I can click. This one did it, that one did it, this one did it. Oh, that one didn't. This one did it, this one did it, this one did it. Click over here. Will it come in? It's not letting me do anything. I don't have that box that lets me write a comment in there. Now I'm done. Let's say I'm done with this and I want to do a missing grade report. Let's see if that comes up. Doesn't come up because it's extra credit. Did I click extra credit? I did completion only.
Yes.
Completion only. I said extra credit?
Yes. That's why I was like, oh.
I'm sorry. That's like more water, less talking. Let me go back and look at it. Here's my digital citizenship. What did I do for this? I said completion only. That means there's no points. I do have 2 questions in there, but they're not points. I could autofill it, and my autofill now just says complete. I'll click complete because we all did it and we're fabulous. I'm going to save, and now when I go back and I look at the assignment, everybody is filled in. Do you see that? And there's no points given for it. It's not extra credit. It was just a completion grade. Maybe you've got something like, I sent a letter home and the parent was supposed to sign the letter and send it back. I can mark that kid complete. It's really useful to be able to put that kind of thing in there and not affect a grade. So I'm going to reports. I'm in Gradebook. I'm going to reports. Failing grades, if you need to see the failing students who are failing, it will give you a report of that. I could include missing grades or inactive students. I can save this report. We'll talk more about that. I thought we could print this, and I don't see a button. I'm going to leave that one alone. Extra credit grades highlighted. Transferred students. I got so excited when I saw transferred students. I thought it was like pause, where a student comes in and you click on it and you do this, that, and it brings in an average of their grades. This does not do that. It just looks lovely and it doesn't do anything. So I don't know what good it is. It's just going to tell you if a student transferred in, but you're already going to know because they transferred in. So I don't know what the process is yet for you to get their actual average to input in the gradebook.
There is a process, it's not at this level.
Okay.
So it is.
Talk to your guidance counselor, right? Progress reports, you are definitely going to want to do progress reports. So, if I want a progress report of my entire class, what do I do with this search bar? Nothing. I just hit continue. I do need to choose stuff over here. Do I want to see all my classes? Do I want to see the gradebook notes? Remember those things? Do I want to include an attendance survey on that child's report? I'll say yes. And I'm going to say gradebook notes because I want to see what it does. Do I want, I do want all my classes. I only have one class. Or do I just want to show stuff like this? Missing, failing, or excused assignments. I'll hit continue. And now I have, here's my class. I could print for each student, or this is later Gator, email. Later Gator, don't even worry about that. I don't even know if that works. so don't even worry about it. I want to preview the report. How many do I want to preview? Do I want everybody or just one person's? If I want just one or more, I can click just those students. I click 2 people, and I'm going to hit preview. Now I see here is Carolyn's, and if I scroll down, here is Christy's. So I have 2 pages only. I can see all my assignments, the grades they got. I don't see any comments except that one says not for points. Let's see. I guess this isn't one that I put a comment in for. Oh, misgrade. I wrote that in next to the grade where I had put the grade in and I put it in wrong. So I erased it. I put in the right one. I clicked it. I put a note that I had misgraded it when I graded that paper. So now the parent can see that that has been changed due to my misgrading. Here I have a weighted grade, test grades, quiz grade, project grade, and the next student's work down here. So that is how you do a progress report. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close that. And now I'm going to look at blank gradebook. What? This is awesome, you guys. Do you want a blank gradebook sometimes? Yes. And there it is. It's just totally blank. And yes, it has a print button. Yes. Show your people that. They like that. All right, so I think I've covered missing grades, failing grades. We talked about extra credit a little bit. I didn't show you a report of that. Transferred students isn't real. Progress reports is real. And blank gradebook.